Portland, Oregon, the backdrop for the second game of tonight's top 25 MCLA doubleheader. In our first game, it was Colorado State, an 11-4 victory over Simon Fraser. But now, it's time to watch the third-ranked Chapman Panthers take on number 7, Oregon Ducks. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. Welcome back to Southridge High School in Beaverton, Oregon for this exciting MCLA tilt between the Panthers and the Ducks. Todd, a great first game for us tonight, and looking forward to a great matchup between Chapman and Oregon.
Yeah, the Chapman's coming off a tough loss to BYU, but they've got a really nice club. I was able to watch the BYU game, and they're very impressive. They've got some kids that can play. Oregon a little bit untested as of yet, so this will be a good stern test for the Ducks.
Chapman really is strong at long stick midi, and in particular, let's talk about number 50, Matt Walrath.
All roads lead through Matt Walrath on the clear and moving the ball upfield for Chapman. Real good stick handler, fastest kid on the team by all accounts. When they want to clear the ball, they get the ball to number 50 and off he goes.
And not to be outdone, Hap Knowles at 5'10", 175 pounds, a transfer from the University of Colorado at Boulder, was last year's 2011 Defensive Player of the Year. Talk to us a little bit about Hap Knowles.
Yeah, they've got a wealth of riches at long stick midfielder, and Hap would, I'm sure, not take a backseat to Matt Walrath. Hap also a team leader. They've got two real good long poles, and the advantage that gives them is it lets them play usually Matt Walrath at close D and let Hap roam the midfield with the long stick.
This is the Lacrosse Talk pregame show. Again, I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker, and on the other side of the ball, the Ducks are really strong at midfield and attack. That midfield led by Spencer Robertson, the senior out of La Jolla High School in San Diego, California.
Yeah, Spencer really drives that midfield unit for the Ducks, and he's really the only midfield scoring power that they have coming back. They're fairly young at midfield, and last year's graduated a lot of points from the midfield, other than Spencer Robertson. So he's going to be doing most of the damage from midfield.
And then at the attack, you've got Sean Silverstein. Sean, very similar to former Oregon Duck Justin Blackmore, strong left, strong right. Where's his contribution going to come from tonight?
Yeah, Sean's a real good. He's good both shooting the ball and feeding the ball, and he's kind of as our viewers watch the game, they're going to see he's not a big kid, and he's one of those guys that probably didn't get a lot of looks from any NCAA squads, but he can play lacrosse. He's small, but he wants to play, and he's a good lacrosse player.
Outstanding. This has been the Lacrosse Talk pregame show. Tune to lacrossetalkradio.com every Sunday evening at 7 Eastern. Lacrosse Talk, the first and most comprehensive talk show dedicated to the creator's game. Tonight's games will be presented to you by Bam Shaft, as well as Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. We are here at Southridge High School, fundraiser for both the Southridge High School lacrosse program as well as the Southridge Youth Lacrosse program. The crowd picking up a little bit, the rain's let up, and it's going to turn out to be a beautiful evening here in Beaverton, Oregon. When we come back, we'll have the opening face-off. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks, San Jose.
He finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy. Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
are free, and the home of the brave.
Welcome back, lacrosse fans, to the second broadcast of MCLA lacrosse, or any lacrosse that is, on Lax TV. Make sure that you follow us tonight on Twitter or interact with us on Twitter at Lax TV, LAXX TV. Todd, what would you say we could expect out of this game tonight?
Well, having seen Chapman play BYU and lose a game that they really should have won, I really would expect them to pretty handily dominate this game. Oregon's got a fairly young squad, and I really think Chapman really would look for Chapman to dominate their Oregon's midfield and their defensemen with a really veteran attack and two guys that can really score the ball, and Andrew Clayton and Madison Fiore and Timmy Andrews feeding them the ball. So really would look for Chapman to put a lot of points on the board tonight.
In goal tonight for the Ducks, they're going to start with Austin Ryan, a junior at 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Lake Zurich, Illinois, at Lake Zurich High School. Austin Ryan on the season actually has a goal, an assist, 3 ground balls. He's played in 3 games. He's given up 15 goals, has a 5 goals per game against average, and a save percentage of 60.5%. For Chapman, they're going with, I can't see who they're going with. Looks like they're going with Matt Stratham to start the game.
Matt Stratham, yeah.
Matt Stratham is a 5'10", 210-pound goalie, obviously from Las Vegas, Nevada's Bonanza High School. He'll play goal in the first half, and it's kind of up for grabs in the second half. We're underway here at Southridge High School Stadium. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. We've got a loose ball push, Oregon possession early on. Ducks on the clear, starting with Nate Tuman. He gives it off to Spencer Robertson. Ducks moving the ball. They'll be moving right to left across your television screen in the white jerseys with the green trim. Panthers coming off a tough loss last weekend against the BYU Cougars. A 12-11 defeat in overtime. Chapman on the clear. That's Justin Shields at midfield for the Panthers. Nice move. He'll pull it back out and reset the offense. Matt Walrath stays on offensively for Chapman. And now they'll bring in the substitutes. That's Alex Williams up top with the ball for Chapman.
Yeah, keep an eye on Andrew Clayton, number 3. Dan, Chapman likes to wheel the ball around the outside, look for a slide coming off the crease, and he is really good at slipping into the open passing lane and getting the ball.
Oregon scoops up the loose ball. They're looking to go in transition. That's Spencer Robertson. He tries to take it to the hole, and the defense collapses on him. And Chapman will pick up the loose ball, or try to anyway. It's a rather unique but successful clear for Chapman. And it's going to be pulled out and reset on the offense. That's Mikey Marchand, a sophomore from Los Alamitos, California. Alex Williams with the set up top. Kicks it over to Shields. Chapman setting their offense, split the double team. Nice feed inside. And that's a goal for the Chapman Panthers. Number 3 on the score, Andrew Clayton out of Lake Ridge, Oregon.
Scored by number 18, Michael Marchand, the sophomore.
Yeah, I think that was that pass actually was to Mikey Marchand, Dan, in the middle, and but that was an honest mistake. Normally that would be a spot that Andrew Clayton would be occupying, and Mikey Marchand this time was the guy that was the beneficiary of the crease slide.
And number 8 for the Ducks, Trey Norris.
So Chapman gets the early lead, 1-0 over the Ducks. Chapman gets the draw and is on offense. Chapman working the ball. That's Andrew Clayton up top. Sitting on Clayton is Ben Smood. 6'2", 190-pound defenseman for the Ducks. Chapman working the ball around the back of the cage. Timmy Andrews on attack. He shoots and scores.
Chapman's second goal scored by number 1, Tyler and Carlo.
Yeah, that's kind of what Chapman's looking
Timmy
for.
Andrews.
Is Tyler coming from behind and hitting,
On attack.
I'm sorry, Timmy Andrews coming from behind and hitting Tyler and Carlo, or one of the other attackmen on the crease. He draws the double T and draws the slide and hits the open man.
Facing off of the Ducks.
Classic offensive lacrosse.
That goal at 3 minutes and 23 seconds, and Carlo from Andrews. Taylor and Carlo from Mullen High School in Denver, Colorado. 2011 SLC all-freshman team last year, just a sophomore. Chapman off to a familiar start for them.
Yeah, the kind of way they started. They started the game off against BYU. They jumped out early and kept the lead, built the lead to halftime, and then kind of let it slip away in the second half.
Looks like we're going to have a redraw on the face-off. That's Walrath at the X for Chapman. That face-off scooped up by Mikey Marchand. Chapman will reset the offense. You got to have the ball if you're going to score with it. Chapman will set up behind the cage, waiting for their subs to get on the field. Great dodge, shot sails wide to the right or wide to the near side, out of bounds. Chapman's possession. Restart will be Warren Brody from Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California. Chapman working the ball around up top real well. Send it to X behind the cage. Oregon takes the ball away and clears into the offensive zone.
Yeah, it was a nice piece of defense by Stephen Britzy behind the goal.
It's KJ Pyack giving it up. The Ducks will set their offense. Spencer Robertson with it. Kicks it to the far side, and Jeff Garrett. Garrett typically a Fogo, but he will stay on the field on occasion. Patience with the ball for the Ducks. There's 24. Michael Hoke. Chapman gets possession. Clear for the Panthers, straight up the middle with the long stick. Shot and a save by goalie Austin Ryan.
And there was a flag down, Dan. Oregon was offsides. The attackman tried to stop chasing Walrath upfield. Couldn't put on the brakes soon enough and went offsides.
Walrath extremely quick.
Clear for
Probably
the Panthers, straight up the middle with the long stick.
Chapman on the restart. That's Sammy Simo here on the near side.
Yeah, typically, Dan, their Chapman's extra man play is not that different from their even up play, and there we see a good example of it. They look for the overplay on the wing and easy shot from the wing.
That was a goal from Warren Brody, the freshman we talked about it just a few moments ago from Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California.
Yeah, just a little dump down to the wing, little draw and dump down to the wing, and he's got a 7-yard shot, which the goalie is 9 times out of 10 not going to make the save on.
There's a timeout for the Ducks. 9:10 to play in the first period. 3-0 in favor of the Chapman Panthers. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV. Back at Southridge High School, Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. Ducks win the face-off, get the shot off. That was Trey Norris. The big save by Matt Sathram. Chap coming the other way. Or as Chapman alumni calls him, Chaptown. That would be Connor Martin, alias Conbro Chill. That's Walrath right in the middle of everything. Chapman comes up with it. Mikey Marchand. Errant pass heading to the sideline. Great hustle by Chapman. Ball goes out of bounds off the Oregon stick. For number 32, Anthony Marinkovic.
Zebra called it the other way, Dan. He's giving the ball to the Ducks.
Curious. My eyes may not be what they used to be. Ducks have the ball. And we're ready to start action. Marinkovic gives it to goalie Austin Ryan. Working the ball to the far side of the field. And a successful clear for the Ducks.
And nice job on the clear. Nice and easy, just the way it's supposed to be.
Good timeout by head coach Joe Kerwin to get his boys settled down. See if they respond and can put the ball in the back of the cage. It's Matt Johnson with the ball behind the cage for the Ducks. He kicks it up top. Ducks lose possession. Guess who? That's Walrath. Scooping it up like a Hoover. Great feed on the inside.
He had the look.
Andrew Clayton, he had his hands free.
He had to look inside and he missed him.
Ducks coming the other way. That's Johnson. Bring the ball up top and settle it down.
Still waiting for Silverstein to get involved here, Dan.
Speaking of Silverstein, he's got the ball. Sitting behind the cage. He's quick and he's crafty. Chapman defense won't let him go. That's Tommy Wolf on Silverstein. So the Ducks take it all the way up top. That's Chris Osip.
Yeah, an unforced error there. He didn't really get a check on his hands. He just threw the ball out of bounds over the end line.
So Chapman will slowly walk it up the field. Little over halfway through the first quarter. And it's Chapman 3, Oregon nothing. There's Walrath on a scoop again. Driving to the net off the crossbar. That was Ryan Helmich, the senior from El Toro High School in El Toro, California. Ball goes out of bounds. That's going to belong to the Ducks, I believe. Michael Hook will start it inbounds. He gives it up to goalie Austin Ryan. They work the ball to the far side of the field. And clear. That's Garrett for the Ducks, who walked it across the midfield stripe.
Interesting wrinkle on the clear there, Dan. Normally a stack clear you'd see with two middies stacked in the center at the X, but Oregon put 4 guys up there, and it really seemed to confuse Chapman on the ride.
Oregon displaying some patience on offense. They work it around. Corbin Root has it up top. Coming from behind the cage. Nice jump shot. Sails a little bit high. That was Johnson. Johnson's a distance and space guy. He likes to get his hands free. He did an effective job there on the shot. Just got away from him a little bit. The rains have subsided here in Portland.
Coming from behind the cage. Nice jump shot.
Johnson with it. Gives it to Robertson. Johnson resets the offense from up top. Left-hand cradle, coming to the near side. Puts it in Hoke's hands. Quick movement by the Ducks. Trailing 3-0 late in the first quarter. Great spin move by Hook. Scores!
That was a nice shot, Dan. A nice individual effort. He threw the roll dodge on him and got some space coming down the alley and made a nice shot from the right side. Yeah, got his hands free, got the stick away from his body, took a nice hard shot, bounced it past the goalie.
Facing off for the Ducks, number 8, Trey Norris, and number 17, Ryan Helmich, for the Chapman Panthers.
Oregon wins the faceoff. That's Silverstein. Norris has it. And Norris has it again off the ground ball. Both teams substituting. And Oregon will set their offense. Almost an errant pass. Controlled very well by Jeff Garrett. Ducks working goal line extended. Oregon just can't penetrate that Chapman defense. Garrett, a senior Fogo out of Lake Ridge High School, working behind the cage on Helmich. Back up top. Oh, guess who? There's Walrath scooping up the ground ball.
Hard to believe.
Walrath is impressive. Oh, it was a nice feed to the other pole coming from the other side. That was Zach Dutra. Dutra, a freshman from Danville, California. And Walrath just missed him coming in.
Yeah, that's one where Matt probably needs to take a look and see who it is that's actually cutting and make a little bit better decision on whether or not he ought to throw that pass.
Errant pass out of bounds. That's going to belong to Chapman. 3:02 left to go here in the first quarter. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. You can join us every Sunday on Lacrosse Talk at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just tune in to lacrossetalkradio.com for your wrap-up of all things related to lacrosse. The restart with Alex Williams. He gives it up top to Justin Shields. Shields on the far side. Chapman circling the wagons. Here comes the dodge from up top. That's a no-go. Chapman will continue to work the ball around. Errant pass intended for Alex Williams, sails out of bounds. It'll be duck ball.
Yeah, that was kind of classic Chapman offense there. They like to work the ball around the perimeter and catch the defense ball watching, and they'll either get a backdoor cut or look for that slide off the crease and the dump down to Clayton for the easy goal.
It's a nice crowd here at Southridge tonight. Figured it would probably pick up with the Ducks taking the field. Oregon darn near throws that one away, but it's saved by Chris Osip. Osip from Coronado High School here in Beaverton, Oregon. It's a good shot of the crowd. Ducks looking for that perfect opportunity, and it's really not presented itself through most of this first quarter.
Yeah, Chapman's doing a real good job playing good position defense and not getting beat on the perimeter.
That's Hap Knowles. Don't drop a ball in front of Hap or Matt Walrath, because you're not going to get to pick it up. They are. Hap will come off the field. Chapman will send their offensive firepower on. Pass up to the top. And that's in the stick of Justin Shields. Chapman setting that offense, working the ball around patiently. Back behind the cage, errant pass out of bounds to Oregon.
Yeah, it was sort of an uncharacteristic unforced error, especially from Andrew Clayton throwing the bad pass out of bounds.
We're under a minute to go here in the first quarter. From Southridge High School in Beaverton, Oregon, it's Chapman 3, Oregon 1. Silverstein has it. Behind the cage, gives it up to Johnson. Johnson's got a man open on the near side. That's a shot by Benton Sowers and a save by goaltender Matt Sathram.
Yeah, not a great shot there, Dan. He really had very little angle. He took it right-handed, kind of almost falling away from the goal, and Matt Sathram had a chance to see the ball the whole way. That's not one that's going to get past him.
Walrath on the clear. There's a flag down on the field. Sort this one out. Just 0.4 of a second left to go here in the first period. Oregon trailing by 2.
Yeah, I thought I saw an illegal procedure signal from the official there, Dan. Either an illegal substitution or too many men on the field. Looks like it was too many men.
That's the end of the first period. Our score, Chapman 3, the Ducks 1. This is MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV. We're back right here at Southridge High School, heading into the second period, a 3-1 game between the Chapman Panthers and the Oregon Ducks. Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. And Todd, again, I think we both expected a little bit more scoring out of these two teams, maybe a 4-3 type game.
Yeah, certainly maybe a couple more goals out of Chapman. I think Oregon with their young squad is going to have a tough time against the really veteran squad that Chapman has. Might have expected a couple more goals out of Chapman, although they seem to be starting fairly conservatively and have uncharacteristically had a tough time handling the ball. Seen a lot of balls go out of bounds. Made sense in the first game when it was actively raining pretty hard. It's actually stopped raining, and it's a pretty balmy evening here in the Pacific Northwest. So a little hard to figure. How Chapman is having such a tough time handling the ball.
Downtown Portland, Oregon in the backdrop. And that is the infamous Portland, Oregon sign. It looks like Santa's reindeer jumping over the state.
Don't slam it. Look at all my freaking cables. You don't. Just push it down as far as it goes.
Still a loose ball on the faceoff. We've seen a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, that was actually coming off the possession. No face to start the quarter since Chapman had possession and the extra man. But kudos to Oregon. They did a good job of forcing the turnover, and here they go the other way.
Here come the Ducks. It's Hoke on the far side. He's marked up by Helmich. Left-hand cradle to the near side. Nice pass out front. That's a goal by Corbin. Oh, no, it's not. It's off the side of the cage. My bad. Corbin Root with the shot.
Yeah, great opportunity there, Dan. That's one they've got to finish. They're not gonna get a lot of those tonight.
Really thought he had that one in the back of the net. But they do maintain possession. Hoke brings it up front, fires to the far side. Shot goes wide. That was a shot by Chris Osip. No one, it was Matt Johnson. Here's Hoke coming from behind the cage. He just gets manhandled by the Chapman defense. Loses possession. Chapman's going to go the other way.
Well, another great example of why you're trying to run through a triple team is not a good idea.
That's Walrath. He gives it up to Simo. Up top to Clayton. Chapman waiting for their offense to get on the field. 13 minutes left in the first half. Chapman holding on to a 2-goal lead. Shields tries to go inside. Oregon takes the ball away and heads the other direction. It's Connor Ryan. No relation to goalie Austin. Hoke rolls the ball to the far side. That's Silverstein behind the cage. That's out front. Great pass and an excellent goal and placement by Hoke.
Yeah, nice look there, Dan. Chapman D got caught a little bit doing a little ball watching, and on the drive, just a little slip off from the D, wide open there on the crease, easy.
So out to a very similar start to that Simon Fraser CSU game earlier. 3 quick goals by Chapman, answered by 2 from Oregon. Chapman wins the faceoff, sets the ball in the offensive zone. That's Clayton. Clayton's marked up by Smoot. They work it around to the far side. Timmy Andrews with it now. Back over to Ancarlo. Ancarlo from Mullen High School in Denver, Colorado. Chapman working very patient on offense. And Carlo up top to Helmich. Helmich kicks it over to Casey Wyman.
Yeah, Chapman's changing up a little bit here, Dan, from when they played BYU last week. They're bringing Andrew Clayton out on the wing, even up on the top. Sometimes putting somebody different on the crease. I don't know if they're trying to confuse Oregon's game plan a little bit, but Andrew Clayton's not really a Dodger. I sort of question the efficacy of putting him out on the wing where he's not really getting his hands free.
The feed to Ancarlo was a great feed, but Ancarlo couldn't get the ball past goalie Austin Ryan, who just smothered the shot right in front of the crease. Chapman regains possession and will reset their offense. Dodging from behind the cage. That's 14. Timmy Andrews, he puts it behind goalie Austin Ryan for another Chapman goal.
Very nice drive from Timmy Andrews. There's Quint Kesnich's favorite. One more step to greatness. Timmy brought it around the cage far enough where he had a good look at the cage and buried it past the goalie. Nice job.
Chapman stops the Oregon run at 2 and regains their 2-goal lead. Quick stick check by the officials. Both sticks legal. Let's get back to the X and play some lacrosse.
Tyler Stanley facing off for the Ducks. And Matt Walrath for the Chapman Panthers.
Walrath and Stanley at the X.
Excuse me, 8 is Trey Norris.
Sorry, that's Trey Norris at the X. Love that face-off technique. Absolutely love it. Walrath running over Norris. I wonder if that's anything like that 10,000-mile stare he was talking about earlier today.
Yeah, interesting face-off alignment there, Dan. They have Walrath face off and put Hap Knowles up on the wing, put a short stick down in the defensive end, so they've got the requisite 4 long sticks on the field, and boy, it's tough to come up with a ball if you're the other team.
Connor Ryan heads in on cage, puts a shot right on net. It's deflected and sails wide by goalie Matt Southridge for Chapman. Oregon regains possession on the out of bounds. Tune in tomorrow when these Chapman Panthers, ranked number 3 in the MCLA Division I rankings, going to take on number 2, Colorado State, who we saw earlier tonight. The Rams with an 11-4 win over Simon Fraser. That battle to take place tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Lax TV. Ducks working it around. That's Johnson with it on the near side. He's going to give it up to Robertson. Back to Johnson, inside. That shot deflected before it ever gets to the cage. Ends up in the goalie's stick. Chapman getting ready for the clear. That's picked up by Tommy Wolf from Sandy, Utah. Wolf kicks it back to Southridge. Brings it over to Shields. Shields will carry it over the midfield stripe.
Yeah, Chapman's playing a zone D right now, Dan, and Oregon just doesn't seem to really have a clue on how to get in, get past it, and get to the cage.
Very patient are the Panthers. Andrews, left hand, right hand, comes out in front, and he's going to give it off to Shields. Shields dumps it to Alex Williams. Both games so far have really taken on very similar flavor. That's an incredible bounce shot goal by Timmy Andrews from San Juan Capistrano, California. Andrews with his second consecutive and second on the night.
Yeah, Timmy Andrews in the right place at the right time. The pass was actually deflected. You'll see it get tipped by the Oregon D here, and just kind of dropped right down in front of Timmy Andrews, and Johnny on the spot. He was able to get his stick on it, put it past the goalie on a quick shot.
Chapman answers the 2 goals by Oregon with 2 of their own and regain a 3-goal lead. 5-2 for the second-ranked Panthers. That faceoff was taken by Ryan Helmich. Chapman had possession but lost it. Ball's picked up by Nate Tooman for Oregon. Oregon sends it back behind the cage. Make their job of the clear just a little bit harder, but looks like they'll be successful as Spencer Robertson carries it across and into the offensive zone. That actually might be Trey Norris who had it. Here comes Johnson down the right alley. Kicks it up top to Silverstein. Silverstein, 5'6", 155. There is hope for the little guy in this sport.
Yeah, there absolutely is. I've been a little bit surprised. Silverstein's really been fairly reluctant to take his guy to the cage and test him.
Silverstein alone behind the net. Feeds it out front. Shot sails wide. Silverstein naturally there for the backup.
Yeah, that was a nice feed to Jeff Garrett cutting down the middle. That was one Garrett needs to capitalize on and put it in the net.
Don't forget, folks, you can interact with us on Twitter. Our handle @LaxTV. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. 6 minutes left in the first half. Chapman with a 3-goal lead over the Oregon Ducks. Silverstein loses possession. There's Walrath to scoop it up. He kicks it upfield to Dutra. Dutra's going to carry it across the stripe. They had numbers in transition, opted to back out. And we've got a timeout for the Chapman Panthers. With 5:44 to go here in the first half, it's Chapman 5, Oregon 2. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Acura located on Canyon Road.
When it's not raining, this is a beautiful city and a great place for a lacrosse event. And we've seen some good lacrosse so far today. Currently, this is Chapman and Oregon, and Chapman holding on to a 3-goal lead mid to late second quarter. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. Welcome to our inaugural evening of lacrosse here on Lax TV. This premium game brought to you by Bam Shaft, Inside Lacrosse, Lacrosse Talk, Head Wraps, just to name a few. Panthers donned in their red and black with possession. Great feed up top. And a great shot. And the save made. Ball stays out of the cage. What great action we had down in the Oregon zone.
Yeah, that's the play that Chapman really looks for is the drive from behind and hitting Andrew Clayton cutting to the goal from up top.
That shot deflected before it ever got to goaltender Matt Sathram. And here come the Panthers on the clear. That's Shields. He's double teamed. All the way to the far side to Walrath.
Yeah, he had the pass, the quick pass right back to Alex Williams if he had made the pass and for the easy clear. Now they're in trouble on the sideline.
That actually was not Walrath. That was Dutra. Ball has cleared the zone. It is scooped up, dropped, scooped up again. Clayton with the shot from a 35-yard line and scores. I'll tell you, Austin Ryan was not expecting that one, and it showed.
No, I don't think he was expecting to see a shot come at him from somebody that far away from the cage. But good heads-up play from Andrew Clayton, picking up the loose ball and fired on the goal. And
take a peek at this replay, folks. This is not the MLL. He will not get 2 points for that one, but it was from 25 yards out. Watch him crank up. I lied, 24 yards.
Yep.
Just put the ball on the cage, and there was nothing Ryan could do. He wasn't expecting it. He never saw it. (6-2) Chapman. Walrath will scoop up the face-off. Kick it down low. Shot sails wide. It's going to be chased down. And Oregon with great hustle on the defensive side. I didn't catch who that was.
I'm going to tell you why that was a horrible call, Dan. The Oregon player was actually out of bounds when the ball crossed the sideline. He's not on the field of play. He can't physically be closer to the ball when it rolls out. That was a poor call by the official. That should have been Chapman's ball on the sideline.
I'll still give credit where credit is due because it was great hustle. Believe that was either Alshood or Smoot. I think it was Smoot that chased that one down. And he's got possession of the ball now while Oregon tries to clear. Chapman on a 3-goal run here in the second period. 3 goals in the last 6 minutes of play to open their lead to 4.
Yeah, they're really starting. Chapman's really starting to play Oregon out far out away from the cage and double teaming real early. And
there's a shot and a nice save by Sathram.
Oregon's really not handling the pressure very well at all.
The rain has stopped, but it's still a little bit on the breezy side. We can see the tents below us blowing around. I understand that one of the tents blew off the roof of the press box a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we had a warding call on that one, Dan, so Chapman's going to be clearing the ball.
Good view of the Canadian and American flags blowing in that breeze. Believe this field runs east-west, so I believe that breeze is coming from the west right now and across the field to the east.
Yeah, I guess ultimately you could track that breeze to Hawaii, but it is not a warm wind.
Chapman on the clear. They'll set their offense behind the cage. That's Shields. Shields was marked up by Livingston Boulier. Mikey Marchand doing the work behind the cage. He's left his defenseman behind him, gets it out to Andrews all the way up top. Driving to the net. Shot by 34 Alex Williams. And the save made, but the rebound comes out to Chapman and put into the net.
Andrew Clayton, Johnny on the spot again. That's where he lives on the crease. And boy, if there's a loose ball in there, you either better take him out or make sure you come up with a loose ball.
7-2 Panthers.
That's Chapman opening up a 5-goal lead late in the second quarter. We'll go back to the X and do it again. It's face-off by committee, really, for Chapman tonight. Their starting face-off guy, I believe, was suspended for a half of play. Oregon gets that face off, and they've got it in the offensive zone. Spencer Robertson up top. Spencer really the #1 midi. Crafty midfielder who makes great decisions. Tends to favor a roll dodge. So if teams catch on to that too much, they're going to force him to do some other stuff. That's Hoke behind the cage. You know, we've seen a lot of drop balls tonight in both games. Here comes Chapman. They've got numbers. It's up to them if they want to take it to the cage. That was intended for Dutra, who couldn't grab the ball. Rolls out of bounds. It'll go to Oregon.
Yeah, an opportunity gone begging there, Dan. Chapman had a man wide open there in the middle. If he'd handled the pass, step and a half, and let it go on the cage, and a pretty good chance to put in a goal.
Austin will get involved in the clear. He likes to come out of his cage. All the way to the net, save Sathram. Think we're going to have a flag on that one, and there's laundry on the field, folks. Little doubt at all as to what that was all about. Again, folks, you can tweet us here in the booth. @LaxTV is the Twitter handle to reach us. We'd love to interact with you during tonight's game. 20 seconds left to go in the first half. Chapman's going to have the ball with another opportunity to put one in the pipes.
Yeah, Chapman's extra man, Dan, is a lot like their even offense. They'll kind of work the ball in a circle, and with either one or two guys on the crease, look for the slide for the crease man coming up to the top, and look for the dump down onto the crease for the easy goal.
It was good defense by Stephen Brizzi, knocking the ball out of the Chapman stick. Brizzi from George Washington High School in Denver. He stands 6'5", 215.
Big kid.
Not a kid I'd want to run into in a dark alley.
Chapman Panthers. Folks, between games, go and check out the new Ripwood Lacrosse wooden shaft for your people. Yes, sir. These shafts are made from grade A, white, red, or black ash.
Folks, we certainly appreciate your feedback. Let us know your thoughts, what we can do better, what we're doing right. Again, our Twitter handle @LaxTV. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here in Beaverton, Oregon, suburb of Portland. In our second of a twilight doubleheader. In the first game, it was Colorado State taking down 22nd ranked Simon Fraser by a score of 11-4. We're 7-2 in this one, but this territory is all too familiar to the Chapman Panthers, having blown a similar lead earlier in the week to BYU.
Yeah, I would not expect a similar result this evening, Dan, but you're right. They were up 9-4 at halftime and just had a tough time putting the ball in the goal on their end of the field and shutting down BYU in the second half. So would not expect them to have that same kind of problem this evening.
Great move to the inside. That was number 17, Ryan Helmich, for Chapman. He gets the shot on cage, but it sails wide. And we're going to end the first half with our score. Chapman 7, Oregon 2. This is MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Or hoodies, go see Big Frog of Beaverton, conveniently located at the Murray Shoals Town Center. They offer 24-hour turnaround milk.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores!
Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy. Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Teams warming up prior to the start of the second half here in Beaverton, Oregon at Southridge High School. This weekend, a benefit for Southridge High School and Southridge Youth Lacrosse. And good crowds. In spite of the weather, we've had a decent crowd out here. We've had some really good lacrosse, Todd.
Yeah, nice opening evening for Lax TV, and the Oregon, the Duck fans have shown up in pretty good force to support the Ducks. Unfortunately, thus far, not the result they were hoping for. But with the rain stopped, it's not a bad evening to be sitting out watching a lacrosse game.
Not at all, and an even better evening to be calling a lacrosse game.
Indoors.
Yeah, fortunately, we get to be in a press box, albeit a hatch open above our head that keeps a nice cool breeze coming in. But that's okay. We're living something that not everybody gets an opportunity to do. And special thanks again to Panchito Ojeda and Will Oakley for their vision and their belief and faith in us to put on a good product, and overcoming whatever adversity we've had through the evening with some technical difficulties. Our crack producer, Guy Yankovic, doing an outstanding job next to us as well. You know, when you take teams like this that come into a game that Oregon ranked number 7 in the country, mind you, but Chapman just really seems to be controlling everything.
Yeah, I really think the young Duck squad is kind of overmatched on the their offensive end of the field, and Chapman's really taken advantage of their kind of reluctance to go to the goal, and they're sliding early and double teaming. They're playing defense way far out away from the goal, and something Oregon really should be able to capitalize on when you're getting overplayed 40 yards away from the goal. That's a time when you got to be able to beat your guy and go in and get a good shot yourself, or look for the slide and the dump and the easy goal. So Chapman really dictating tempo the entire first half of the game, and don't really see anything at this point that would expect that to change in the second half.
No, not at all. The unique thing, we'll talk about this in a whole lot more detail tomorrow, but this Chapman program has, I believe it's 5 players that have played at some level of the NCAA who've come back down to play MCLA ball at Chapman, and that has to say something for the Chapman program. Matt Walrath, one of those, who comes from Rumson Fairhaven, New Jersey, and he went to Stevens, a Division III school, and has really made a huge impact on this Chapman program in the time he's been there. He had 24 ground balls coming into tonight. He's probably got another 8 to 10 already tonight. And part of that is his face-off technique to push the ball out in front of him and go get it. But nevertheless, he does a great job fundamentally of picking up the ball.
Yeah, Matt's a good lacrosse player, and when you've got the luxury of playing both him and Hap Knowles at long pole against BYU, Matt played a fair bit of close D in order to help handle the high-powered attack of BYU. But tonight so far, he's just been on the midfield with Hap, and when you got two of those guys that you've got to try and deal with as an offensive team, that's a tough row to hoe.
Definitively a tough road to hoe. Remind you, next week we'll be in Jacksonville, Florida, to bring you a series of games, including a high school level game, a game from the MCLA, and 3 Division I lacrosse games. We'll give you more details as the night rolls on. And as we speak, the clock rolls on toward the start of the second half with the score Chapman 7, Oregon 2 at halftime. We'll be back right after this.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Southridge High School in Beaverton, Oregon. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. The second in our doubleheader. Chapman holding on to a 7-2 lead. Shows me it's about time for the second half face-off. And we were talking before break about the games next week in Jacksonville, Oregon. We'll start next Friday, or Jacksonville, Oregon, Jacksonville, Florida. You know, they sound the same, they rhyme. We're going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. Quite a contrast in the weather, I hope. But we'll start off on Friday. And we'll do that at 3:30 Eastern time with a matchup between the Jacksonville Dolphins and the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan brand new to Division I action, and so far they're playing competitively, and I think that's really all you can ask in your first year, jumping from the NCAA or from the MCLA up to the NCAA D1 action.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's quite a leap, and in your first year, you haven't really had a chance to recruit any NCAA D1 real good players anyway, and give them a year or two to kind of get the right personnel in play. But for openers, Michigan's doing a pretty good job.
And then on Saturday, we'll have a twin bill of action on Lax TV. And we're going to have Florida State, Virginia Tech in a battle of SELC opponents that are both sitting in the top 15 in the NCAA division, or the MCLA D1 rankings. And then after that game, we're going to follow it up with a matchup between the Bulls School and Ponte Vedra High School. And then again, a doubleheader on Sunday of NCAA action as Jacksonville will take on Holy Cross and Michigan will take on Mercer in what both should be competitive games. Jacksonville looking real impressive last weekend against Navy.
Yeah, real nice opening W for Jacksonville, and Guy Van Arsdale has done a really good job getting his system put in, and those guys drinking the Kool-Aid and look for a pretty good season out of the Dolphins.
So 3 games this weekend, wrapping up tomorrow with CSU, the second-ranked Rams from Colorado State, against this Chapman squad, who's now playing defense against the Oregon offense. Hoke has it. Kicks it over to Johnson. Johnson moves to the center of the field and takes it far side to Robertson. Back up top to Johnson. Johnson's going to go toward the cage. He shoots. That ball sails wide. Good effort by goaltender Warren Nielsen, I believe, has taken spot in goal now. Yes, Warren Nielsen has. Warren from right nearby in Lake Oswego, Oregon. He's their second half goalie. Was a 2011 All-SEC freshman. And he's a lefty, so he poses a unique challenge to opposing offenses.
Yeah, that's a tough switch, Dan. As an offensive player, you kind of get used to getting a mindset of where you want to put the ball, and you gotta flip that to the other side very quickly when you change to a lefty goalie.
Coming from behind the cage and dropping it in is the Ducks. Number 24, Michael Hoke. Hoke, all individual at 6'7", 200 pounds.
No, he's a big kid, and real simple play there. They just ran a pick behind at X, and Hoke drove his man into the pick and brought it around and dumped it over the top of the goalie. Real simple. But effective play if you set your man up nicely for the pick, and it's really the player carrying the ball that sets up the pick, not the guy setting the pick.
So that goal coming a minute 32 into the second period, or into the third period, and the score is now Chapman 7, Hoke 3. Scouting report on Hoke said he likes to come from behind, and sure enough, he does. And that's a cheap goal let in by Chapman goaltender Warren Nielsen coming out of his cage. And I think that was Robertson that kind of slap shot into the net.
Yeah, classic garbage goal there. But again, as you say, Dan, if the goalie's not on top of that ball, and it gets loose, and here we go, the ball hits the ground, nobody takes man, goalie comes out too far, all the offensive player has to do is get a stick and rock going towards the cage, and there's nobody there to stop it.
So 2 quick ones for Oregon.
And another easy
and they win the
face-off
face-off. Robertson will set the offense for the Ducks. Todd, what ideas do you have to deal with the substitution issue off the face-off?
Well, I'd like to see some kind of rule limiting the face-offs or restricting the face-off until maybe the second whistle after play has started. I'm, as you know, not a fan of the shot clock, but would like to see the ball get into the box and stay into the box. It's tough on the face-off because it's a very tricky thing to limit those substitutions.
Chapman with it in the offensive zone. Shields has it up top. Shields 6 foot, 200 pounds. out of Oakland, California, went to St. Mary's, Berkeley. Also spent some time at NCAA Division II institution, Notre Dame de Namur. There's a shot and a goal for Chapman. Composed.
Mikey Marchand.
That was Marchand coming from behind.
Chapman's 8 goals scored by number 18, Michael Marchand. Sophomore attack.
Yeah,
that one coming at 3:23.
Yeah, nothing fancy there, Dan. He just he got his guy GLE goal line extended and drove him to the hoop and got a step on him, and that was all she wrote.
There's a shot and goal for Chapman.
2-goal run stopped there. Walrath scoops up another ground ball. He is so fast.
Nice look across the field.
That's inside. That's a shot and a goal, Chapman. Believe that is Livingston, or Timmy Andrews. I'm sorry, Timmy Andrews.
Yeah, that was
the goal.
That was a nice shot, Dan, because he knew he was going to get blown up as he was taking that shot. So it means you got to stand in there and take the hit, which he did, and still buried the ball in the back of the net.
So Oregon scores 2 about 13 seconds apart, not to be outdone. Chapman puts 2 between the pipes in a 16-second time frame. That's 4 goals here in the first 3 minutes and 40 seconds of the second half.
There's a trip that did not get called.
No flag from the official.
Wow.
Shields has it up top. He'll get it down low inside the box to Andrews. Chapman working the ball around in their offensive set.
Mikey Marchand again, another nice drive to the goal. Got a good shot off, just a little high.
Marchand will get the ball behind the cage. He's going to be marked up by Trey Norris defensively. Loses the ball, and it'll belong to the Ducks.
And Chapman just got away with one there. Dan, Andrew Clayton is actually was riding a midfielder, just knocked him down from behind about halfway between the top of the box and the midfield line. Ref didn't see it.
Successful clear for the Ducks. That's Brizzy. Brizzy's going to the cage with the long pole. He shoots and scores. That's Brizzy out of George Washington High School in Denver, Colorado. His first goal of the year.
Very nice. Good clear. Took the ball upfield. Nobody picked him up, so he did what you're supposed to do, which is go to the goal and get the good shot.
Brizzy, a pretty savvy senior defender. Seems to be favored by his coaches. Tends to get the tough assignment when the game's on the line.
Yeah, he's kind of their shutdown D guy. So as we can see, as we just saw, though, he can also take the ball to the goal and finish when he gets the opportunity.
Again, we're still in very familiar territory for Chapman. They had a 9-4 lead at halftime last week against BYU. And tonight we're sitting at 9-5 with still 25 minutes left to play in this contest.
Unforced error there, Dan. Robertson just brought the ball down off the face-off and just threw it out of bounds, about 15 yards over the attackman's head.
The rain may have stopped. Actually, it started to mist again, but the wind has definitely picked up out there. Silverstein carrying the ball down into the zone. He dumps it. Gets it back. This may be the first time tonight that we've really seen Silverstein try to work himself for a goal. His shot sails wide out of bounds, but it is chased down by the Ducks. And it'll remain Duck possession. believe the last time I saw the Ducks play was a year ago, just about a year ago, and the weather was similar. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with them. That was a game against Michigan in the MCLA championships. That was a quarterfinal matchup against the Wolverines. The Wolverines went on and got knocked off in their next game by Arizona State, who then proceeded to go into the championship game against BYU and lose a 2-goal game to the Cougars. BYU, the defending MCLA champion, seems to have some pretty stiff competition from probably 4 or 5 schools out there that really could win this championship now.
Yeah, I think with the departure of Michigan to the NCAA level, you're right. There's about 4 or 5 teams that are right up there that kind of a wide open competition.
I think you've got Boston College, you've got Colorado State, you've got Cal Poly, you've got Chapman, you've got BYU. I think those are your primary contenders, and there's always room for a surprise team, maybe a Florida State, maybe even a 7th-ranked Ducks squad.
Yeah, come tournament time, you never know. All bets are off, and you've got there are several teams that have the opportunity to pull the one upset, and maybe that gets them on track to win in the big game.
Johnson shoot wide, backed up by Silverstein. Johnson's got a cannon on that right arm.
Yeah, it was a good hard shot, but it was also a good 3 yards off the cage. So he needs to get a little bit more accurate with his shots there from the wing.
7 goals and 5 assists for Johnson on the season. Wind and rain picking up, as is the Chapman defense of that ground ball. To the near side, Zach Nickelman has it. That's Remlinger behind the cage. He's marked up defensively by Ryan O'Rourke.
Yeah, the Oregon defense has really picked up the tempo on harassing the ball handlers for Chapman.
That's Andrews. Brings the ball up top. Chapman content and patient as we near 6 minutes left in the third period. Ball behind the cage at X. That's Andrews. He brings it out front. Feeds in front, quick wrist shot. Good defense by the Ducks, really packing it in down low. Solid man-to-man defense. Helmich has it. He's going to get it up top to Clayton. Offense inverted right now. Clayton looks to the cage, shoots. That's a save by goaltender Austin Ryan. The Ducks coming the other way in a hurry. Ball gets dropped. We're going the other way. Good backup by the Chapman attack.
Yeah, good smart play there by Fiore. He knows there's a chance that Clayton might miss that ball. He puts himself in position to pick it up if it goes through.
First time we've called Zervas' name. Thomas Zervas, a 5'9", 165-pound midfielder from Bellevue, Washington. He's got 2 goals and an assist. He's in on that second midfield line and has possession of the ball. Chapman working it around A.J. Rafter. Not necessarily new names onto the field, but new names touching the ball. Timmy Andrews, the name we've called before, back up top to Clayton in this inverted offense. Rafter has it, left-hand cradle. He's going to head down that left-hand alley, dish it behind the cage. Stall warning on. Here goes action to the cage, the shot and the save. That shot was A.J. Rafter.
Ryan, the goaltender for the Oregon Ducks.
Showing his downhill dodge, but a great save by Austin Ryan. Here come the Ducks.
That was a good defensive stand there from Oregon, Dan. Chapman held the ball for a good long time and had a number of good looks at the cage, good runs at into the crease, and Oregon did not fold.
That's Ben Dill, who scooped up the ground ball pass from Robertson. Robertson's up top with the ball now. Guess who's marking him up? That's Walrath. Johnson has it. Back up top to Robertson. Here comes Johnson down the left alley. He has to pull it back out. Far side to Connor Ryan. Back up top to Robertson. Spin
Nice
dodge by
move.
Robertson.
Nice move.
Can't get the shot off, but Johnson does, and that's a save by Warren Nielsen. In and out of the crease goes Nielsen, and the ref's going to give the ball back to Oregon.
Yeah, great dodge by Robertson coming down from the top, Dan. But that's a play where he really needs to take the shot. It was unselfish of him to dump the ball off, but he was in there at 12, 13 yards. That's a shot he's got to take.
Under 3 minutes in the third quarter. 9-5 our score. Chapman on top. Johnson has it on the near side. Right hand had his hands free, but he's definitely much stronger to his right side and couldn't get that shot away.
Yeah, they've got a short stick on Silverstein right now. They need to work the ball to him and let him take advantage of that matchup.
Robertson on the far side, working on his man Tommy Wolf. We've got a ground ball.
Moving pick.
We're going to give it right back to the Ducks. Coming inside is Dill.
Yeah, Silverstein still got a short stick on him, Dan. They really need to move the ball to him, and he just had it there and gave it up. But he needs to take that ball to the cage and see if he can take advantage of that short stick defender.
Give it back up top to Robertson. Robertson coming off the pick, takes it to the far side of the field. Finally to the back of the cage to Silverstein. Over to Robertson, back to Johnson. Johnson coming left. Down low and inside, that was Silverstein. His shot sails a little bit wide to the left-hand side of the post.
Yeah, Chapman right now, Dan, is basically playing their long poles on all three middies, and they've got midfielders down guarding the attack, which is a real shot in the chops to the Ducks attack, and they really need to at least try to take advantage of these matchups.
Walrath sitting right on top of the crease. The Chapman defense really packed in, basically in a box zone down underneath. There's a ground ball scooped up by Wolf. Wolf is a senior.
Oh, boy.
And he lost the ball. Here comes Hoke. One-on-one.
Nice check.
He can't get one off because of the check. That came back. I believe that's Hap Knowles. No, that's a short stick, so that's not Hap.
I'm not sure how the officials missed the cross-check in the head on that play, Dan.
We've said for a long time that quality officiating's been tough to come by in this sport, and we've seen a little bit of it in both games tonight. However, with that said, it's not a job I want.
It is a thankless job, and I did it for a lot of years and enjoyed myself. But it's a tough job.
Chapman with the ball in the offensive zone. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. You're watching Lax TV in our inaugural evening's broadcasts. Earlier tonight, it was Colorado State 11, Simon Fraser 4. Chapman with 14 seconds on the clock, working the ball around. Looking for a quality shot. That's up top. Right hand's free. Shot sails wide. Scooped up by Austin Ryan. Clock's going to run out right here. At the end of the third quarter, your scores. Chapman 9, Oregon 5. We'll be back for the fourth quarter right after this.
Folks up by the...
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
Sorry.
We're back and just about ready for the fourth quarter here at Southridge High School in Beaverton, Oregon. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. If you've heard those names before, it's because we host Lacrosse Talk every Sunday evening at lacrossetalkradio.com, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And this week we'll have our old standbys, and we'll add in a second week of feature from Lowell Melzer from WBAL in Baltimore. We'll talk a little bit about the impending sentencing now of George Hughley at the University of Virginia. I think we both think that the jury got it right, and now we'll see what happens with sentencing. And hopefully this young man will go do what he's got to do and at least have a shot to get some of his life back when all is said and done. Again, folks, you can interact with us on Twitter at LaxTV, LAXX TV. Todd, the tweets are rolling in.
They are, and thanks go out to Lax Pro Midi. Thanks for the nice comments, and keep watching and keep tweeting.
Don't forget to catch us next weekend when we're going to have 5 games in 3 days for you from Jacksonville, Florida. Fourth quarter faceoff won by Chapman, but we've got a hold, and it's going to give the ball over to the Ducks. Fortunately, the rain has calmed down, and we can see out our windows again. Our apologies for any calls we might have missed as we were looking through water-soaked windows. But here comes Chapman into the zone, and guess who that was? Matt Walrath with another ground ball. This time he gets a shot off.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see Matt do a lot more, Dan. I think he gets the opportunities to take that ball in and get a shot, and frequently just pulls it out and lets his offense get into the zone. But that was a nice take.
A 4-goal lead for the Panthers early in the fourth quarter.
High school players, please stick around after the game.
Spencer Robertson trying to clear. Great defense by Chapman. We've got arms up.
Loose ball push.
Loose ball push on the Panthers. Duck ball. I don't know about you, Todd, but when the rain was really driving down, I had about a 1-inch slot at the top of my window that I could see out of.
That's about all we had.
That was about it. The fair weather of Oregon. The Ducks drive to the cage. There's another one of those cheap scoop goals. This one is scored, looks like number 10, Chris Osip, who rolled that ball in. I think Osip might have visions of playing hockey someday.
Nice job, though. The goalie has got to control that ball. Just like hockey, the goalie's got to control the ball. If that rebound comes out and it's right in there on the crease, it's fair game. And the goalie was way out of position after making the save, and Osip did a nice job of just
fair weather.
There's the initial save. Goal goes down.
There's no rule on how it gets into the cage as long as it gets into the cage.
That is right. Unlike hockey, you may kick the ball, and that's a perfectly legal goal. And
I would guess, if Chapman can score from 24 yards out, it's okay for Oregon to roll a couple past the goaltender.
Absolutely. All's fair.
I've commented previously on Lacrosse Talk, and I'll say it here. The kids playing ball here in the MCLA really just kind of bring a different passion for the game to the field. They don't tend to take the game for granted as much as others might.
Yeah, we were talking with Matt Walrath earlier about the differences between NCAA lacrosse and MCLA lacrosse. And his experience, at least, was that the NCAA Division III was very regimented. Basically, every minute of your day was accounted for. You had, even to the point of having your classes chosen for you. These guys are out here because they love to play lacrosse. They're not getting scholarships. They don't get everything taken care of for them like the NCAA guys might at some levels. But these guys are out here because they love to play.
There's a big shot deflected by Warren Nielsen. Oregon regains possession. Nielsen's really had a pretty solid half between the pipes. Came into tonight with a 1.50 goals against average. That's going to go up just a little bit tonight.
Wow.
There's some heavy hitting going on the field. We've got a little bit of laundry down on the field. The refs will get this one sorted out.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a slash on the up outside the box. Yeah. On the play. nice job of getting to the cage, and the hook shot almost went in.
That one looked like it was on Chris Herman.
Puts the Ducks in a man-up position.
Chris Herman, another product out of Denver. He went to Denver East. A lot of these kids west of the Mississippi really kind of find their home in the MCLA. As recruiting still works to pick up and more of a mark be made west of the Mississippi on the perennial powers. The kids really seem to find a home here in the MCLA. Chapman on the clear. There's the double team, and a great timeout by head coach Dallas Hartley as the double team came on the Chapman Panthers. We've got 11:21 left here in the fourth quarter from Southridge High School in Beaverton, Oregon. Your score right now is Chapman 9, Oregon 6. Stay tuned, folks. This one's not going to be over anytime soon. We'll be right back after this.
Including Hillsborough Stadium, Cleveland.
As we come back to Beaverton, Oregon, Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. Justin Shields has the ball for Chapman. Got 11 minutes to go in this contest between the second-ranked Panthers and number 7, Oregon. We're doing a great job moving the ball around, are the Panthers. A lot of patience. Rather than sitting back and resting on their laurels, I'd like to see them go to the cage a little bit more often. That's Clayton. He heads toward the cage, gives it off to Andrews.
Nice check.
Great check by the Oregon defense, and the Ducks come up with the ball. University of Miami beat Richmond earlier today, 8-6. Elon beat East Carolina, 14-6. As we've told you, Colorado State over Simon Fraser, 11-4. Montana State, 15-6 winners over Colorado School of Mines. Right here in Beaverton, Oregon, it's 9-6. Panthers over the Ducks. Virginia Tech beat Tennessee earlier tonight, 12-8. We'll have Virginia Tech next Saturday right here on Lax TV as they take on Florida State. Central Michigan picks up a 21-8 win over Ferris State. Georgia 14-3 over Florida. That wraps up the out-of-town scoreboard here on Lax TV. Ducks with possession of the ball. They've got it up top. That's Hoke. He's inside. Waited a little too long to get that shot off. Had a bad angle. The ball's going to roll out of bounds. Be Duck ball. Silverstein's going to take possession. Interesting that each of the matchups tonight featured white and green and red and white. Did you notice that?
Luck of the draw, but you're right. It's the exact same color matchups as the first game, and we're going to get green and white tomorrow. No, I'm sorry.
No, we're going to have green, white, and red and white again.
Red and white again.
I'm hoping the Colorado State will be in their dark jerseys so that we can see the numbers. Oregon only down 3 with 9:13 to go here in this contest. Feed to the left wing. Shot on cage, sails wide. That was Chris Osip.
Yeah, the problem is Oregon settling for those 15-yard shots, and while you've always got a chance, as Andrew Clayton showed us, shooting from 24, they really need to be working for higher quality shots. That's
another one. That one was deflected by goalie Warren Nielsen and out of bounds. Near side, working the ball around. Hoke's up top. Hoke with the left hand.
Nice.
Near side, great shot in the goal. That's number 7, Corbin Root. From Nathan Hale Heights in Seattle, Washington. That's his 9th goal on the year.
Yeah, nice job moving the ball diagonally from the top down to the wing. Good quick shot, good placement on the shot, and beat the goalie high on the bounce shot. Here's the feed across. That's what you want to do, is look for that diagonal pass. Good quick shot over the goalie's right shoulder. Didn't really even have a chance.
That's a 3-goal run now for the Ducks.
Yeah, Chapman's kind of gone away from their earlier tactic of really pressuring the ball at all points on the perimeter. They've kind of just dropped into a good solid man-to-man, but Oregon's really taking advantage of the the softened defense. Great pickoff.
We're going to head the other way. Panthers with the ball. That's Andrew Clayton scooping it up with left-hand cradle. Clayton's pushed off his path to the net by Anthony Marunkovic.
Yeah, that was freshman Brenton Croto picking off that pass. Really, really nice play.
Madison Fiore. From Faith Lutheran in Las Vegas, Nevada, had the ball behind the cage. And he possesses it once again as Chapman works the ball around. Ryan Helmich coming down the left alley. Good switch and great slide. That slide by Ben Smood. Chapman works it in, gets a shot off. Sails a little bit high and wide, but they pick up the loose ball.
It was really a nice job by Helmich, not giving up on the play. Really getting beat on coming down the side there, but he made the nice inside move and got a good shot off.
That was on Carlo, who picked up the loose ball. He brought it to the near side. Chapman circles the wagons and gets it started all over again. Chapman looking to pick up one of those easy roller goals. Unable to do so as Austin Ryan picks it up. Starts the action the other way for the Ducks. Connor Ryan has it. Cross midfield. No relation. Connor Ryan comes inside. He's looking for his first goal of the year. Can't get the shot off. Big hit behind the cage. That hit laid out by Thomas Zervis. Hearing a little bit of discontent from the fans on the officiating.
It was close, Dan, but it was a legal check. If the ball had been in the goalie's stick, it would have been interference. But the ball was still on the ground. It was a legal check from the side. Nothing wrong with that play.
So we've got a little over 5 minutes to go. Our score 9-7. Chapman ahead of the Oregon Ducks. We'll be back right after this.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. I've been told we have to welcome you back, folks, and we are back in Beaverton, Oregon. 9-7 our score. Chapman ahead of Oregon, and this is getting eerily familiar for the Chapman Panthers.
I'll tell you what, it's looking scarily like last week's BYU game, and I got to believe that the Chapman bench is not shaking in their boots, but I think they're probably thinking about this a little bit.
I think that was a well taken timeout by head coach Dallas Hartley for the Panthers. Hartley, second year with Chapman, who was darn near handpicked by Matt Walrath, who was on that search committee for a new coach. Although Hartley had not had any prior collegiate experience, the Panther organization decided to embrace him and bring him into the fold, and I think they made a really good decision.
Yeah, Dallas has got these guys playing at a really high level. Not been hurt by the fact that he's gotten some really good players to play for him, but he's been doing a nice job.
Rafter with the ball up top. He's going to go down the right alley. He gave up the ball, and I don't know if I've got that move. My hands were pretty well free. I think I'd have taken the shot. Nothing happens if you don't get the ball on cage. And this is what they did against BYU. They constantly pulled it out instead of taking that risk and taking that chance to put the ball on cage. There's another dodge down the alley. That was Rafter, and he scored the goal.
There you go.
I called it, folks. You heard it here first. A.J. Rafter heard me down there on the field, and he took the shot this time and made it count.
Yeah, nice job again, once again, for you young players out there. You make that drive down the alley, and if you can get your hands free and you haven't run yourself out of an angle, if you can take a good hard shot and place it where you want it, you got a real good chance of getting a goal.
Timeout called by the Oregon Ducks. And Todd, if you're in that Oregon huddle and you're head coach Joe Kerwin, what are you saying to that organization?
Number one, that you can't let a goal like that go. That defensive midi has got to be pushing that driver down outside the alley. You can't just let that guy waltz in, and we'll see it here as the ball moves over to the wing.
The super slow-mo.
Yeah, here comes the drive, but again, his hands are free. Sort of a half-hearted slide. They're too late. The shooters at this level are good enough where if they've got their hands free and they've got even, there's not a great angle, but if you can take a good hard shot and put it where you want it. There's nothing wrong with that shot.
Nothing at all wrong with that shot. Just 2 goals scored this period. First one by Root from Oregon at 6:28. Brought us to a 2-goal game. Rafter just widened that lead back to 3 for the Panthers on his dodge down the right alley. We're going to go back to face-off X. Start it all over again. That was Helmich on the face-off. Chapman comes up with it. There's the long pole. Shoots, scores. That's Walrath, his 2nd goal of the season. I think you asked for that one a little bit earlier today, huh, Todd?
That's what I was looking for, and nice job by Matt. First of all, not giving up on the face-off. They really, Oregon had kind of won that face-off, and Walrath got in there with the long pole, came up with a loose ball. Saw the opportunity again. Nobody stopped him. He took it to the cage, got a good shot. Goal.
So whatever it was that Dallas Hartley said to his squad in that huddle with the timeout a couple minutes ago definitely sunk in for his Chapman Panthers. There's a push on the faceoff that the ref missed in a serious way. Amazing how the guy closest to it missed it, though, Todd. Can you explain that?
Yeah, you got the wrong guy making the call. Fortunately, he made the call. That wasn't really his position to make it from, but he saw that the near side guy did not make it, and he blew the whistle.
There's a great move inside by Ryan Helmich, but he lost possession of the ball. We've got to fight for it on the far side of the field. The Ducks are going to come up with it and head the other direction. 3.5 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter at Southridge High School in Beaverton, Oregon. Chapman up 11-7 on the Oregon Ducks. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you. Chapman determined to not let what happened last week against BYU happen to him again. They answered the 3-goal Oregon run with 2 of their own. We've got Osip moving the ball around on the far side, down low in the far corner. He loses possession trying to dodge to the inside on a roll. Oregon saves it. Out of bounds off Chapman. It'll remain duck ball.
Yeah, there again, Dan. We got the short stick on the Oregon attack, and just not seeing any movement from them at all.
About 2.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Folks, if you want to interact with us, you can do so on Twitter at LaxTV, LAXX TV. We've sure appreciated your comments tonight. We'll look forward to seeing all of you back online tomorrow night to talk to us about that Chapman Colorado State matchup, number 2 versus number 3. Madison Fiore with the ball. Gives it to Shields. Shields brings it up top. He's sandwiched by 2 Oregon defenders. Great job. That was Hoke. And Osip up top. Here comes Osip, bringing the ball into the offensive zone for the Ducks. $1:40 left. Osip shoots. That ball goes wide. Nice chase by Nielsen, but not quite enough as Duck was sitting behind the net. There's a pass up top, intended for Hoke. That's picked off by Helmich. Helmich is going to take it the other way. Here comes Walrath. Walrath loses it. I think he just wanted to pick up another ground ball. Let's pile onto those ground ball stats, but Walrath can't do that. Possession turns over to the Oregon Ducks. Just over a minute to go here in the fourth quarter. We've got a huge penalty.
He's also offsides.
We've got a player
He's also offsides.
Chapman's offsides. Chapman's holding. There's 2 flags down.
Yeah, he's going to get the double header of the hold and the offside. Both on Fiore. He not only got his stick hung up with the Duck player, but he didn't realize he was 5 yards offsides at the time.
That was Madison Fiore. Madison out of Faith Lutheran in Las Vegas, Nevada. Played some NCAA D1 ball at the University of Maryland prior to finding his way to Chapman in Orange County, California. That's the long way to get to Orange County. I'm not sure if Madison's aware of that or not. He was an attackman who moved to the midfield. He's got 4 goals, 4 assists on the season, and also does a good job picking up ground balls. He's got 9 of them on the year. That's Silverstein, and I'll tell you, Silverstein's really been held in check by this Chapman defense tonight.
Yeah, he's wanted nothing to do with Tommy Wolf. Tom Wolf has been on him all night and has just completely shut him down.
Kudos to Wolf, but that one is a goal from that far side. It looks like that was Connor. Was that Connor Ryan that got that goal, number 5?
I think it was Spencer Robertson.
Nope, that was Robertson.
Yeah, nice shot.
The 5 and the 6 in that font look very familiar and very similar.
Nice patience by Oregon on the extra man. Did not take the foolish bad shot. Moved the ball around until they found Robertson here on the backside, nesting into a little passing lane. Just enough space where he got his again hands free. Got the space. Good hard sidearm shot right past the goalie.
So it looks like tonight the winners are going to compile 11 goals each in their wins. First Colorado State over Simon Fraser in our early game. Right now this one with 20 seconds to go is 11-8 in favor of the second-ranked Chapman Panthers.
Another nice shot.
11-9. Good thing that Chapman got those 2 goals from Rafter and Walrath, or we'd be knotted up and heading to overtime again, and Chapman wouldn't like that at all.
No, and again, a nice job by Oregon moving the ball, finding the open guy, and Chapman caught a little flat-footed on the D. Nobody moving to the ball carrier. He just ducks inside, dumps it over the goalie's left shoulder, brings the Ducks to within 2. They're going to run out of time, but kudos to them for not giving up and playing the game out.
Just under a second to go. Oregon will take possession of the ball. That's going to be Silverstein. Whistle blows, horn sounds. That's the ball game, folks. 11-9, your final score from Southridge High School in Beaverton, Oregon. When we come back, we'll have the Head Wraps wrap-up show. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. We'll be back right after this.
Colorado State, then in the nightcap.
We're back in Beaverton, Oregon at Southridge High School. Your final score in game number 2 tonight was Chapman 11, Oregon 9. Earlier this evening, it was Colorado State, an 11-4 victory over the Simon Fraser clan. This is the Head Wraps wrap-up show. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. And Todd, not a bad night of action for our first premier broadcast here on Lax TV.
No, not at all. A couple nice games. Really impressed with the way Oregon hung in that second half. They very easily could have folded their tents at halftime and called it a night. But with several garbage goals in tight on the crease and some nice goals here at the end of the game on good individual moves and an extra man goal. Oregon really did a nice job hanging in and made it a lot closer than it looked like it was going to be at halftime.
Yeah, maybe my single favorite sports tradition, and that's the handshake between the teams after a hard-fought game. Earlier tonight, it was Colorado State really kind of having their way with a Simon Fraser squad that tried to slow the game down on them. Yeah,
really an outmatched Simon Fraser team. A lot of youth. Give those guys a couple years. I think they'll be pretty good. But right now they've got too many freshmen that they've got to play and rely on to try and score goals. And that's too much to ask of a freshman at any level.
Timmy Andrews had 3 goals tonight. He had the hat trick, bringing his goal total up to 11. Marshawn picked up a couple, as did Andrew Clayton, picking up 2. So Clayton and Andrews continue to lead the way in scoring for Chapman. And Oregon, it was kind of a team of runs and no real consistency. For a while, it looked like the only guy that could score for Oregon was going to be Hoke.
Yeah, they had certainly had trouble putting together any kind of consistent offensive threat. But again, you hang around long enough and keep nibbling away at a lead, and you never know what can happen. And they sure made it interesting by the end of the game.
And then early on for the Colorado State squad from Fort Collins, Colorado, it really was the Taggart show.
Yeah, he had a real nice game, and I look for him to have a put together a pretty nice season based on what he did this evening.
Folks, I think we're going to be in for a barn burner tomorrow when these Chapman Panthers take on Colorado State and the Rams. I know Alex Smith will have his squad prepared, and I'm certain that Dallas Hartley will have the Panthers ready to come back and fight another day.
Yeah, I think Dallas needs to maybe tweak his halftime speech a little bit, Dan. 2 weeks in a row, really good, solid first half, build a nice lead, and then just kind of let it slip away in the second half. And don't know what he's talking to him about at halftime, but maybe he needs to rethink that a little.
Again, we want to thank Panchito Ojeda and Will Oakley and Will Moss for their vision with Lax TV. The opening night has been a success and a blast for us. A special thanks to Guy Yankovic and his entire crew from Northwest Audio Visual Productions. For Todd Walker, I'm Dan Matthews. This has been the Head Wraps postgame show right here on Lax TV. Tune in tomorrow night when we'll have Chapman and Colorado State at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on Lax TV. Good night, everybody.